Alright, I'm going to talk to you today about the text tool, hue and saturation, and the clone stamp tool. So hue and saturation is basically just what it sounds like. The shortcut key for that is Control U, or you can go to Image Adjustments, Hue and Saturation right here. It tells you the shortcut key right there. And what this does is allows you to change the hue of a color of an image by dragging this dial right here. Excuse me. Also, it allows you to change the amount of saturation or the amount of color that is in an image. If you drag it to the right, you'll see it will be flooded with color. And if you take it to the left, you make it black and white. And also lightness and darkness. If I take this all the way to the right, it will turn completely white, and the opposite is true all the way to the left. So that is hue and saturation. We'll be using that this year. As my computer freezes up, I'm eating pretzel. I'm eating pretzels, and you can hear them on the microphone. My computer is still freezing up. So the next thing I'll start talking about that we're going to use is the text tool. Now this allows you obviously to add text to a project. Also, you have all the options that you would in any other program. You have a bunch of fonts. You can change the size of the change the size of the image. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do the text tool now. Okay. What is up with this picture? I'm going to bring in another picture. That one is slowing my computer down for whatever reason. How about this one? More pretzels. Oh my goodness. Alright. So what I'm going to do to this is rasterize this. I haven't talked about this in the past. Rasterizing a layer makes it editable. If you don't do that, the computer won't let you do anything to it. So when you bring an image, you import an image or place embed an image, you want to right click and rasterize a layer so you can make changes to it. So now to the text tool. The shortcut key for the text tool is T. And you can drag a box for where you're going to start typing. Or I'm going to press escape to get out of the text tool. I'm going to press delete to delete that. I'm definitely going to delete that picture, and I'm going to copy and paste a random picture in here, and I will show you this picture is fine right here. I'm just going to copy and paste it in, Control V, and now this is going to be what I'm going to use for this example when I talk about the clone stamp tool. And apparently my computer doesn't like anything about any of these pictures. So there we go. And here we are. I can't scale this. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to keep going with this video because I don't have much time. I can't afford to keep starting over. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the text tool. Here are your options up here. You can change the font, you can change the size of the font right here, and then you have the color of the font and the alignment. I'm just going to, like I said, you can click and drag a text box to type inside of. Or you can simply click with the text tool, that's what I do, and start typing. So madman across the water. And right now you see down here on the layer, it names the layer what is the text is on that layer. You can't do much to this in terms of edits. You can't adjust much other than what is up here. You can add some special effects, But if you were to rasterize this type layer, and then it becomes a regular layer, then you can select parts of the text, you can scale it, you can change the color of it, you can do all kinds of stuff that you would be able to do to a regular layer once you have rasterized a text layer. So that is pretty much the text tool in a nutshell. And now I'm going to show you the clone stamp tool. The shortcut key for the clone stamp tool is S, and you have to rasterize the layer if you place embed a picture. Now what I'm going to do with the clone stamp tool is get rid of this guy here. Okay, a clone stamp tool takes information from one part of an image and uses it to cover up another part of an image where you tell it to. But you have to tell the computer what part of the image you want to use to cover up a certain part of the image. So, for instance, I'm holding Alt on the keyboard. You see my cursor turns into a target. That means I'm getting ready to declare it to the computer where I want to start sampling from. So if I click here and let go, you will see now with my cursor goes the point that I set. The target is over here, and you see that I have that blue on my cursor. So when I start clicking, you'll notice over here that the crosshairs will start moving up and down with my mouse. So it will take the information that's over here and replace it over here as I drag my mouse. And you can make the cursor bigger or smaller with open and closed brackets. So I'm just going to start clicking over here, and notice the crosshairs over here. That's telling me that I'm just replacing this to the right with what is on the left. Now as you see, that's not a very seamless, not seamless at all. You can tell clearly what I'm doing and that I did this. What you want to do is probably get closer to the image if you're trying to believably stamp it out. And my suggestion is to constantly reset the target area. Now you can barely tell I did anything. And I'm taking my time. If you do it quick, it's going to look like you did it quick. So again, I'm resetting the target every couple clicks. I'm just going to click and drag here, go back. If I take my time, it looks much better than if I were to quickly go through this. And that's what I want you to do, is to take your time so this looks flawless. I don't want it to look like you obviously just set it up and rush through it, because you'll be able to tell. Even right there, that looks bad. So what I would do is probably set a sample over here. Just click once and start covering my tracks that way. Just very slowly. Again, how you do that is by holding Alt and then letting go and then clicking your mouse, and you will see that you will start to cover up what's here. If my computer wasn't lagging, you would notice in real time. Now up here you have some options as well. You can change the opacity of what you're doing. If I change the opacity down to 40%, you'll notice that I don't entirely cover up what's there. It will just sort of cover up. And here you have the hardness of a brush like you would a regular brush. So right now my edges are clearly defined. What I mean by that is if I click, you see a clear circle around because the hardness of the brush is at 100%. If I were to take this down to 0, you wouldn't notice that those clearly defined edges. It would be a lot blurrier. So sometimes that's a good practice when you're getting rid of stuff like this. You'll notice it blends in easier. You don't have those hard edges like I do right here on this section. So be mindful of that. And I have some lessons that I want you guys to follow along to clone stamp out, to use the text tool, and hue and saturation. Have fun.